Welcome back to Scotty's Movies, and it's time to go over everything I watched in January and February. Let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to go through everything I watched in January. There's simply one word to describe why I've not done a video in January, and that's simply this. Slacker. So I'm going to get started. I'll quickly go through what I watched in January. So first thing I watched was a movie called Cube on DVD. I think I picked this up in the charity shop. This was really a cool movie. About a bunch of people that sort of in this cube basically trying to get out. It was a sci-fi movie. It was pretty smart. Next I watched Top Gun Maverick again on 4K. Great 4K, and yeah, it was great to watch Top Gun Maverick again, second favourite film of last year. Next I watched Smile for the first time, the horror movie from last year. I got to be honest, I wasn't a big fan. It didn't really do anything for me. Next I watched Scream again from last year. Love Scream, well, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it, in preparation for the new one coming out. But yeah, really enjoyed that again. Next I watched a film on Netflix starring Stephen Graham. It's called Boiling Point, and it's basically filmed all in one take, set in a restaurant, and that was a really, really good film. I'd highly recommend that one if you've not seen it. Say that one's on Netflix. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Next watched a film on Amazon Prime called Meet Cute. It was kind of like a bit of a time loop kind of film from what I remember. And you remember it being okay. Next I watched for the first time Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, I quite enjoyed Black Adam before what it was. It was all right, and a shame the sort of end credit scene is basically a waste of time now. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Next I watched some cheesy 90s fun in Barbed Wire starring Pamela Anderson. Then some cheesy 80s fun in Mannequin with Andrew McCarthy. I've seen that a million times. I just love Mannequin. Next I watched Megan for the first time. Well, the sort of killer doll sort of thing that looks quite realistic. Yeah, I quite enjoyed Megan. I quite enjoyed it. It was probably what I probably wanted the remake of Child's Play to be, but I didn't like the remake of Child's Play, but I did enjoy Megan, funnily enough. Next I watched another film on Amazon Prime with Jennifer Lopez called Shotgun Wedding. That's pretty much throwaway sort of rom-com type film, to be honest. Next I watched a film on Blu-ray that I picked up in Poundland, got about 2 or 3 years ago, if not more, and it said it was associated with James Cameron. I don't know if he said a producer or something, but I remember thinking this film was like a horror movie, but it turns out it wasn't. Anyway, it was called Sanctum. It's about a bunch of people sort of potholing basically, and it was quite a good movie. I quite enjoyed that. And the last thing I watched in January, I did a review of this on my channel, and that was Plane starring Gerard Butler. I saw that in the cinema, and yeah, I really enjoyed Plane. Yeah, that's going to bring me on to what I watched in February, and I was going to go through these in a bit more detail. So the first thing I watched in February was a Blu-ray picked up at the start of the year, I think in January, an 80s film, basically a werewolf movie called The Howling. Yeah, I'd never seen The Howling growing up, and my previous sort of favourite werewolf movies probably have to be Dog Soldiers and probably American Werewolf in London. And also I watched a film last year from the 80s called Silver Bullet, which I really enjoyed as well. And yeah, this one was another great werewolf film. It really surprised me. I don't think I've seen a bad one yet, I'll be honest. I've probably these are the only 4 werewolf films I've seen, but I really enjoyed all of them. But yeah, the Howling starring, is it Dee Wallace? I think it was the mum out of E.T. But yeah, it was pretty good and quite graphic, and yeah, I really enjoyed the Howling. I give that one 7 out of 10. Next up, I watched a movie at the cinema starring Dave Bautista and Rupert Grint, amongst others, and it was M. Night Shyamalan's, I can never say that name, Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, enjoyed Knock at the Cabin, to be fair. I had seen the trailers, but it didn't really sort of ruin it for me. It kept me interested. It was just quite an enjoyable film about these people that go to a sort of a cabin with a daughter for a sort of a little holiday, and these four people turn up and basically say it's a case of one of them has to make a sacrifice if to sort of save the world, basically, or there's going to be affects the apocalypse or something. And that's a really awful description of it, but yeah, it was a good film. People say now it's not really got the usual twist that you get in M. Night's films. But I think for me the twist was probably that there wasn't one. And yeah, I still really enjoyed it, and I give that one 7 out of 10. Next film I watched was a film on Amazon Prime, starring Mel Gibson, where he's basically a sort of radio DJ, and it's called On the Line, sorry. He's like a radio DJ, and he gets a call come through saying this guy's got his family captive, and he's sort of trying everything he can to sort of save him. This film, for me, I really enjoyed it until probably the last 10 minutes, and basically the end, which absolutely just was what the hell, it was just the ending was shocking. Not in a good way, really. It's weird because I enjoyed it until that point. I did enjoy it, but yeah, I'll probably give it overall maybe 5.5 out of 10, something like that. It's just the ending ruined it for me, really. Yeah, if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Next up, watched the 90s film The Net, starring Sharon Stone, Sandra Bullock. Sorry. It was in that lots of times. I've got a thing for films about computers and like hacking, and I don't know. I was a big fan of war games, and yeah, I don't know what it is about The Net. I just really enjoy it. It was a fun film, and it's obviously showing its age now with the with the computers and everything that goes on it really. But be interesting to see if someone made a remake of this down the line with technology how it is now. But yeah, it's a fun film. The Net. I give that 7 out of 10 as well. I've always enjoyed The Net. Next up, I watched a film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. And you probably guess what it is. It was Universal Soldier. Yeah, the original Universal Soldier film. I'll be honest, I always thought I'd probably watched this back in the early 90s. But I watched it, and yeah, I'd not watched it before. I genuinely thought I'd seen it before. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. It's a great action film from the 90s. I know there is some sequels that are probably not so great. I've got a couple of them on DVD. But this one, though, yeah, about these guys in the Vietnam War that basically get shot to shit, and they bring them back as like super soldiers. And obviously, Dolph Lundgren's kind of like the bad one, and they go up against each other. But it was great action film from the 90s. I really enjoyed it. I give that one 8 out of 10. Yeah, really enjoyed Universal Soldier. It was a lot of fun. And it's one I probably definitely want to upgrade to Blu-ray or maybe even 4K. I know there's a 4K of it, but because I just watched it on DVD. Next up, this one Valentine's Day, I watched a film that was in my top 10 romantic movies, and that was another Mel Gibson film, and it was Forever Young, where he stars as like a sort of a test pilot that gets frozen after his girlfriend at the time. He thinks she's died in an accident, and he puts himself in his test chamber to get like frozen for a year, and basically 30 years later, or whatever it is, I can't, 30 or 40 years later, he's woken up in the 90s by a couple of kids, and yeah, he basically then he's trying to find the guy that did the experiment and put him in there, and also ultimately trying to find his girlfriend, who turns out he's still alive. And yeah, it also stars Jamie Lee Curtis, and I just thought this was a great film, and it's a film that's not actually on Blu-ray as far as I know. If it ever does come on Blu-ray, it's one I'll pick up. It was from 1992, but it's just a good fun film with Mel Gibson. Well, yeah, get Forever Young, 8 out of 10 as well. I've always enjoyed Forever Young. Next up, well, actually, the final two films, and yeah, I've only watched, hold my hands up, I've only watched 8 movies this month, which is, I know, very much pathetic. These people out there have probably seen 8 movies in a week, but what can you do? Yeah, the final two films are both cinema trips. First I saw Ant-Man 3, or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, whatever you want to call it. It did give me thoughts briefly in a video when I saw it. But I did enjoy it. Again, it's another 7 out of 10 for me. It has its issues, but it's quite an enjoyable Marvel film. I preferred it to the last one, which was, I think was it Thor? Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that, man. I'll do it. It's the worst one of the 3 for me. Ant-Man 1 will still always be my favourite, but I did enjoy it though. And the last film I saw at the cinema just last week was Cocaine Bear. Yeah, Cocaine Bear. Where did this come from? It's just I know it's based on like a true story, but just the idea is just crazy. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, really enjoyed Cocaine Bear, starring the late Ray Liotta, and I believe this was his last role as well. But it's just a bear that basically gets high on cocaine, which is dropped from an aeroplane in the middle of a forest, and he just goes off his tits basically, and it just starts killing anyone in his way. And it was just a lot of fun. It was good. I do think the best bits were probably shown in the trailers though, and maybe if I'd not seen the trailer, I might have enjoyed it a bit more. For me, there's a scene with an ambulance, which I thought was probably the best bit in the movie, and that was in the trailer as well, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I give Cocaine Bear 6 out of 10. It was a good fun film, and yeah, that is the 8 films that I watched in February. So as I said, yeah, pathetic. I know. I've normally got an excuse really. The only other thing I've been watching this month as well. And I've watched quite a lot of it. This might be a reason why I've not watched many films. I've funnily enough been watching Benidorm, or rewatching Benidorm on Netflix. Now that's a British comedy show, basically starring lots of British actors. Sort of who's who of British actors who probably appeared in Benidorm at one point. I think the Chuckle Brothers were even in a later episode. But yeah. It's a show that I've never watched really from the beginning. Only ever seen bits and pieces and the odd episode here and there over the years. Maybe seen some of the later ones a bit more. But yeah, I don't know what it was, but I decided to watch it on Netflix. The first couple of series were only like half-hour episodes, so it was a nice, easy watch, and I've just been really enjoying it. And on to about season, is it about halfway through season 4 now? And it's starting to get the odd episodes where I kind of remember him, But yeah, I've just really been really enjoying rewatching Benidorm on Netflix. And yeah, that's it really. I'm gonna probably still do these videos going forward. I've been thinking about knocking them on the head. I don't know if maybe you can comment down below if you're interested in watching these videos. I know what I've watched in the month, because I've seen some of the sort of the viewings, and they don't seem to get as many viewings as some of the other videos. And it was something I wasn't sure if it should carry on, but yeah, maybe comment down below if you want to see these videos carry on of what I've watched. Obviously, it helps if I watch something this month aside. But yeah, comment down below about that. Also comment down below if you've seen any of these movies and what you're looking forward to in the cinema maybe for the rest of this year. I know obviously coming up in March we've got Scream, Creed 3 as well, which I'm hoping to go and see both of those off the top of my head. So yeah, you might see them in the video next month. But yeah, so don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.